Hey guys, I'm JanetOnOccasion, and today we're playing on the Total War Warhammer II Battle Replay. This one was sent in by zachbsain. I do wonder if he's related to Johnny B. Good. No, he couldn't be. Different surname. That would be ridiculous. Anyway, same middle name though, I guess, of B. But that means nothing. Anyway, enough rambling. Sorry, I've got a cold, so I'm basically disabled today. So leave me alone. So here you can see he's got a very elite high elf army, which is definitely risky because he's against the Tomb Kings. And the Tomb Kings are very good at just stomping elite stuff, so this could be very tricky indeed. So he's got 3 Phoenix Guard, but of course Phoenix Guard, they do tend to suffer against things like Ushabtu's Great Bows. He does have some insurance against that with the Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower. He does have a couple of Nobles that with their very good anti-large, they can actually get in there and do some serious work to things like Ushabti. And they're nice and quick, so you can keep them bogged down. But obviously you don't want them caught out on their own either, because Tomb Kings tend to have a lot of very good things like Tomb Princes and stuff like that, that also have a lot of good anti-large. And yeah, if you're going to bump into something like a War Sphinx or a Necrosphinx or something, then yeah, they're going to be in trouble if they get singled out, so still got to be careful. But yeah, good punch on these nobles, and backed up by Teclis, so Teclis will help stop them from getting gooned, because he does have the Net of Amantok, which is very nice. He's also got Enfeebling Foe to lower combat stats, and he's got Regrowth, which is kind of vital when you have such an expensive front line. He's also got a couple of Loathen Sea Guard, so, you know, they can kind of fend things off a bit. When you've got an army this small, it is good to have your archers be a little bit more capable in melee. You know, they can at least fight off some skeleton warriors or something. So it does help a bit, but it is nice to have some extra ranged. Also has some spearmen in the back, and here are some more spearmen guarding the Eagle Bolt Thrower, which is great for dealing with Ushabtu Great Bows. They can really put in the hurt early. So, over here, yes, there are Ushabtu Great Bows. Just the one unit, though. Just the one unit. Because a lot of the time, people will bring a lot of wide things. So, usually, the Ushabtu Great Bow is just good for taking out maybe a bit of cavalry or something like that. It's good just put some pressure on and sort of punish people for charging in. So, it's not overkill. You know, if there are a few Ushabtu Great Bows, they could single out all these guys and just take them out one at a time. And it would take a long time for the Eagle Bolt Thrower to deal with them. But since it's only the one unit, maybe it's feasible, you know? So, here you can see there are some skeleton archers in the back. There's 3 units, and these will be able to put in some good damage, especially because the Loathen Sea Guard, you see, don't have any shields. No, they don't. And I guess neither do the Phoenix Guard, but they have a lot of armor, so that will shrug off some of the damage. But given the price of Phoenix Guard, I'd say shooting at them with skeleton archers is still going to be cost effective, just for the, you know, the difference in cost between them. He also has a ton of skeleton warriors and Tomb Guard, skeleton spearmen, so it's quite a heavy front line. A lot of Tomb Guard in here, and Tomb Guard with halberds on the outside, obviously to ward off any heavy cav, certainly helps. But in the back, you can see there's also a sneaky unit of Illyrian Reaver archers. So, now for the leadership. You see, he does have a Tomb Prince, so that anti-large can be very handy. And also, he's got a couple of cool abilities, if I can get to them. Ah, yes, I got him. So here he's got the Tomb Strike, which will cause terror, which is nice, because he doesn't have terror in his army. So having something that can cause terror is pretty good for helping break things. And he also has the Curse of Jaff, which is really nice. When he gets to half health, he can rampage and lower melee attack, which is great for catching out cavalry and things. It is so useful. Yeah, really good. Stops things cycle charging. It's great against the High Elves that tend to rely on cycle charging a lot. This army, not so much, but generally they will do. Also, he's got Guardian, which will help out Arcan the Black here. So Arcan the Black, if we can get onto him, yes, got him. He has the Tomb Blade, so he can summon some more skeleton warriors, which will help muck things up. He's also got the Staff of Nagash to improve power recharge rate and ability recharge. He's also got Liber Mortis for the physical resistance, not a lot of magic damage here, so that's going to be useful too. He's also got Fate of Buna and Spirit Leech, which are both so damaging. And he's got, you know, a few other little bonuses and things, including the Curse. So if he gets to 50% health, he can use that, which will just hurt everything nearby. And when it's such a small army, yeah, he's probably going to be in contact with most of it, you know, if he gets to spring that. So, yeah, some pretty scary things on both sides here. But straight away, I just think this High Elf army, it just isn't big enough. There isn't enough to block this stuff in. It could easily all get surrounded. And although their melee defense is super high, if they're getting attacked in the rear, they're going to lose, I think, 75% of it if they're being attacked in the rear. So things like the Tomb Guard will actually be able to punch through a lot of these guys. And you can see a lot of damage already just from the cheap archer fire and the Ushabti. But the Ushabti, they're taking a little bit of extra damage from the Loathen Sea Guard. But I think actually the DPS of the skeleton archers is probably sort of higher at the moment, because they can get wiped out very quickly. So you can kind of negate more damage if you go for the Skeleton Archers quicker than I think if you go for the Ushabti, which seems odd, but with these guys already getting into combat, the Ushabti aren't going to be able to fire in as easily. So, and it looks like the Bolt Thrower is pretty much dealing with them. So I think deal with the Skeleton Archers because they will do more damage over time, or at least you can deny them more damage over time because you can wipe them out sooner, if that makes any sense. I hope it does. I hope it does. Either way, I think the Skeleton Archers are the better target because you can kill them so much quicker. Here you can see the Lyrian Archers, Lyrian Reaver Archers, they're charging in. Huge damage, those Skeleton Warriors already. Really nice to see. But over here, this was scary. Fate of Buna has been used on this unit, but a regrowth has already been used on these Phoenix Guard. So it means you can't counter that Fate of Buna with an overcasted regrowth. So that's really tough. That really hurts. This unit is going to take all the damage. They're completely surrounded. They're still getting shot at by a ton of stuff. They're getting really focused down. And to lose pretty much a third of your army, you know, straight away, that's very, very painful. And it means that all the rest of these units can start pushing forward. These Tomb Guard managed to get into the back, but the Spearmen did block them in, so the Loathed Sea Guard is still able to fire. Over here you can see the Tomb Prince is trying to chase down the Illyrian Reaver Archers, because of course, you know, that anti-large, if he can catch up to them, he's going to kill a model per hit. So the Illyrian Reaver Archers, they're vital here to destroy this front line. We can see the Loathed Sea Guard have been wiping out a ton of these others, but still fairly high model counts on them, which is why you want to follow it up with something like the Illyrian Reaver Archers. They'll be able to just get in nice charge, hit them all, and basically just kill models very quickly. So here we go. You see models dropping not as quickly as you'd like, but still pretty damn quick. So that's really nice, and they are crumbling now, well and truly crumbling. So are the Ushabti, only 3 models left. Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower doing a fine job, 10 kills. 10 kills on Ushabti, lovely. So yeah, Lyrian Reaver Archers doing alright here, doing alright, really mucking up that back line. All of that archer pressure is gone, and so now the High Elves can turtle. Over here though, these Loathed Sea Guard are having to run away from these Tomb Guard with Halberds. They do not want to be in that fight. Sure, Tomb Guard with Halberds are anti-large, but they're still just much better in combat than the Loathed Sea Guard are. So they're gonna get off a lot easier here. So it's better to get out of the way, and hopefully the Loathed Sea Guard can start firing again. You know, they've still got 12 ammo, and with 68 models, they can still do a lot of damage. Over here, Teclis is trying to bog down these Skeleton Warriors. These Spearmen are still keeping these guys busy, but you can see the Loathed Sea Guard are firing into some of these units. Over here, though, things are looking a bit desperate. You can see the Noble is in here trying to help out these Phoenix Guard that are almost toast. They are almost out of there. They've lost their martial prowess. Luckily, this unit is still going strong. It's fighting Tomb Guard, Skeleton Spearmen, some more Tomb Guard, some more Tomb Guard. It's fighting a ton of stuff. But you can see they are falling back slightly. Teclis is getting Spirit Leeched, but he is using the Potion of Shiroi to heal himself up. You see Ushabti have been summoned in the back to try and catch him out, but he has been able to retreat. But this is a bit of a problem. These Ushabti can do some good damage here. Over here, the Noble starting to take a bit of damage fighting these Tomb Guard with Halberds, but it's keeping them busy and it's helping out these Spearmen. And so now the Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower, with its you know, scatter shot, it's actually doing a lot of work against something like you know, the Tomb Kings. Is great because even their elite infantry only have 50 armor, which is nothing. So you can spread out a ton of damage over these units. You can get a lot of hurt in there, and it just means that the cheaper infantry like the Spearmen can get the odd kill in. If they can hit something, they can kill it because their health pool is so low from these scatter shots. And I've got to say, it's doing pretty well. It's doing pretty well. So over here, it looks like there was a net cast on Arcan the Black so the Noble can do his work. So that is pretty nice to see, but a Spirit Leech on that Noble means that he is in a bit of trouble. And Arcan the Black isn't actually a complete pushover in melee. He's not the best, but he's still a hero, you know, he's still a lord rather, so he can still do okay. You don't really want him one-on-oneing the Noble, but he should be able to hang on, you know, while he's netted. This isn't the biggest goon squad in the world, and with a lot of support from Tomb Guard in here, this isn't the best thing. And now the Tomb Prince has managed to get on the case, and that Noble is suddenly outnumbered horribly and completely surrounded. So that's not so great. Teclis still loitering. Looks like those summoned Ushabti have finally been taken out thanks to Spearmen and Phoenix Guard, and a load of this infantry is starting to suffer. But apart from this one unit of Phoenix Guard, most of everything else is either super injured, slowly running out of ammo, busy being chased around. It's kind of tough. It's kind of tough. There's not a lot that's got a lot of strength left. I mean, sure, these Spearmen are very healthy, but they're just Spearmen. They're not going to get a lot of killing done. Here, the Noble is in a lot of trouble. The other Noble charging in just for a quick charge, see what he can do. And the Illyrian Reaver Archers, they're just firing in. You know, all of these guys are facing the wrong way, so none of these shields are going to be a benefit because they're being shot in the back. And here, I mean, they're all facing this way, right? So even these Loathed Sea Guard, they can get some good work into the backs of these Tomb Guard, and it's really going to help. And these Phoenix Guard are just keeping so much stuff busy. So over here you can see the Tomb Guard with halberds finally reached something they can catch up to. They finally got these Eagle Claw bolt throwers, but they've already run out of ammunition. So the Eagle Claw bolt thrower, 101 kills, they have done their job. They've done more than their job. They took out a unit of Ushautu great bows and then killed another 90 units. You know, 90 models. It's pretty huge. Here, though, a Regrowth and a Spirit Leech. That will actually be a net positive. Regrowth is better for healing than Spirit Leech is for damaging. So he will net out with a bit of extra health, which is nice. And, you know, at least that Spirit Leech hasn't got him to a point where he's not going to be sort of useful anymore. No, he's still going to be useful. He's got half his health, and it's still rising. So that's lovely. He'll be able to get back in there again. But Phoenix Guard still under a lot of pressure, but somehow still have their martial prowess, despite the fact they've been in combat all this time. And I think a lot of that is just down to the fact that all the archers are dead. Having got rid of all the archers in the Ushabti, there's nothing that can really just probe at them at range and just get that DPS on top of them. So, yeah, just fighting in melee, when they have such high melee defense, they're in great stead. But it does look like their melee defense did drop somewhat. They're on 41 now. But it looks like martial prowess is still active, so that's a bit confusing. Huh. No idea what's happened there. Anyway, they seem to be in trouble now. And they are starting to take a lot more damage. Teclis actually charged in, which is bold. Use the Sword of Teclis to give himself some extra weapon strength and melee attack. It does actually make him pretty good. He doesn't give him a lot of armor piercing, but you don't need I suppose 90 armor is still quite a lot, isn't it? But the Noble's coming in now because Arcan pushed. So that was nice bait, if nothing else. You know, Teclis got a good hit and then ran away, got chase, and the Noble's able to come in and get a good hit. So suddenly Arcan's struggling a little bit. Half health? That's not great. That's not great. That's going to be easier to goon. So Phoenix Guard still holding out just about. A regrowth on them would be lovely right now because they've still got pretty high models. It would be nice to keep this stuff busy for longer, but almost out of ammunition on everything. I mean, how can you really capitalize? The only thing it really benefits is these Tomb Guard are going to get wiped out, and hopefully these Tomb Guard are going to get wiped out before the rest of these guys can react. So this delaying strategy still helps. It still helps. It means you can take out the units that are on their own and then come back for this, you know? You're sort of on more even terms if this stuff gets delayed. And sadly, yeah, those Phoenix Guard are toast. Lear and Reaver Archers try to charge in just to lend a bit of support, and they're having to run, already wavering. They've taken a lot of damage just from that charge. But Loathed Sea Guard still trying to fire in. They will get the benefits of their shields now that they're running towards them, but they're out of ammunition. But those Tomb Guard are dealt with, which means all of these units can turn around and start helping to deal with these Tomb Guard, hopefully wiping them out before all these reinforcements can arrive, because you want to be able to get these guys out one at a time. You don't want this situation where the Tomb Guard are up here, will beat the Spearmen eventually, and are able to charge downhill into everything that's fighting the bulk of the rest of the Tomb King's army. So it's pretty tense right now. You know, both have surprising amount of units left. You know, Teclis is very healthy, Noble, you know, 2/3 health there, 2/3 health for this one. That's actually pretty great. The heroes and lords on this side are definitely a lot better, but a lot of their infantry is suffering a lot. A lot of the infantry here is, but you got to remember a lot of these are Tomb Guard, so they're still going to fight pretty damn well. So the weakened Phoenix Guard charged in to try and bog them down. Illyrian Reavers moving to see where they can charge in. Noble trying to probe around. Noble, Teclis, they're all spread out, waiting to see where they can charge in. See if a lord or hero ends up stuck on one edge to see if you can charge him. And it looks like Noble's just going to go in for a quick charge. Looks like he's trying to bait out the attack instead. Over here, an enfeebling foe on these Tomb Guard is going to let all of these, you know, these elves kill it quicker. You know, it's going to be great. They can take fewer losses from this. So it's really good to be able to get that enfeebling foe on them, get some extra damage in, and hopefully they can start crumbling quickly. But their leadership is holding very, very well here, considering the damage they've taken and the fact they're completely surrounded. So very impressed by the performance of these Tomb Guard, I've got to say. So the two Nobles still probing. Lear and Reaver Archers, they've just charged in. They're staying in combat at the moment, which does lead to their downfall. But Loathed Sea Guard are holding out for a fair bit. 44 melee defense is still pretty damn good. And the Phoenix Guard somehow back in the fight. Somehow. And now they're not surrounded, which is good. In fact, they're not actually in the fight right now, are they? They're just stood next to the fight. Oh, maybe they should get into the fight. A lot of this stuff is close to wavering. A nice rear charge, and a couple of these units might crumble. So you can see the Nobles have charged in, but they're a little bit bogged down now. They're a little bit bogged down, and that's not good. These Tomb Guard, nearly gone. Nearly gone. Almost. Says they're crumbling, but leadership is still high. Okay, I guess it's the UI bug that you often get in replays where it lies about leadership, which is a shame. I don't know why it does that, but they are crumbling, so don't worry about it. So here, two Nobles having run away again, and yeah, this is iffy. yeah, very good move by Arcan here. He's put Skeleton Warriors behind the Phoenix Guard so he can get those rear charges in again and break them again. And this is a free unit, so just be able to get a rear charge on a whim like that is super useful. I mean, that's the case with all summons. Just that rear charge debuff on the leadership is huge. I mean, if you can break Phoenix Guard, you don't have to fight them, and you don't want to fight them because they are very formidable. They have good weapon strength, and they're just very scary units, very hard to kill, ton of armor, ton of melee defense. You don't want to sit there and fight them for long. So, over here, the Noble managed to get a brilliant hit on Arcan there. He is really starting to suffer, but it looks like the Noble's in a bit of trouble himself. A lot of units are coming in for him. The other, Techless rather, is charging in. Those, yep, they've crumbled. Tomb Guard with halberds have crumbled, so now the rest of the infantry is pushing in. Might be worth just sending the odd sort of knackered unit, maybe the Phoenix Guard, where there's only 7. Move them to one side, try and get a surround, just so you trigger the penalties from being attacked in the rear, but you're not sat in prolonged combat, just on one edge. So, you know, make those numbers count if you can, because the Tomb Kings have blobbed up. Over here, though, this is very sad. Nobles aren't immune to psychology. One Noble is wavering, the other one has been terrified. A regrowth on him, though, but with his healing cap so low, he's not going to get a lot of health by the end of this, and the other Noble is nearly dead. So suddenly this is terrible. You know, those two heroes being caught out, and just huge hits from the Tomb Prince, doing devastating amount of hurt. And suddenly things are looking really dire. Where it's looking great for Techless and his gang before, now it's not. You know, these skeletons, there's a ton of them left. All of the elves are very close to wavering and very close to breaking. And, you know, they keep coming back, but in fewer and fewer numbers. And this is a big blob. I mean, look at this. That is a lot of Tomb King's units left. And Arcan, he's still pretty good, right? He's not a pushover, and given how little health these two Nobles have now, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. But it looks like the Tomb Prince and Arcan are pushing out this way a little bit too much, and that might leave them open. Techless trying to get a charge in the rear. A lot of these units are struggling a bit, but they are a bit exposed here. They're going to need to get back into their ranks. Looks like the Nobles didn't want to try and pounce. Maybe they suspected it might be a trap, but it looks like they're charging in now, and nope, they changed their mind. Changed their mind. Tomb Prince now chasing. And, okay, here they come. Here they come. They're all going all in for Arcan, including Techless. He knows this is do or die. Either kill Arcan or you lose. But with the 3, you know, lords and heroes coming in here and all attacking Arcan, that is absolutely crippling. So he is taken out, and that's enough to shift the balance of power in a huge way. And that's enough to get them to crumble. Amazing fight. Amazing fight. So that is a Pyrrhic victory. That was a good one. Yeah, my first instinct was that this would just get slaughtered. I really didn't expect them to last. You know, I just thought that the Phoenix Guard will get gunned down, but he kind of had enough to counter them. You know, the Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower is very good at dealing with Ushabti. I think if there was more Ushabti, it might have been a little harder. But, I mean, those Skeleton Archers, they did a fine job doing a lot of damage to the Phoenix Guard. I mean, obviously not a lot of kills, because it spreads the damage out a lot. When you have a very, like, heavily armoured unit, you're just doing little bits of damage across the entire unit, you know, rather than getting any kills with Archers, at least for the initial few volleys, but the damage adds up. You know, this is why I wish there was a damage stat. You know, you can tell these guys put in some work, because that one unit, once all the Archers were dead, survived forever. You know, they refused to go, and that was because they weren't getting shot at, and that is a huge factor in this, absolutely huge factor. But you can see only 3 kills from the Ushabti. You know, it got shut down so hard there. Arcan and the Tomb Prince did a fine job, you know, really able to counter those Nobles, but the combined strength of 2 Nobles and Techless jumping on any one of these characters is enough to cripple them, because that is a huge amount of hurt that can just jump in all at once. And but with all this infantry, it's so easy for these guys to hide, so it just took that entire match to thin out the infantry enough that they only had to charge past a couple of skeletons to get on the target they wanted. And yeah, that proved to be what did it, you know. Just kill Arcan and the rest fell. But still, very tense fight and very, very fun. That was very cool. I was not expecting this to perform as well as it did, and I'm impressed it did. So, wonderful. So guys, if you enjoyed this, please do comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good day, guys.